What it is. Peace, silly listeners. Welcome to the podcast where we shoot the shit and we take our silliness seriously. The Professionally Silly Podcast. It's your audible boot thing. Amber Smiles Jones. That is I. So it has been a wild month for me, and the month is just ending. If you're listening to this on the day of this episode dropping, it is October 31st. Happy Halloween. So many of you may or may not know that I'm not a fan of the month of October and haven't been since October 25th, 2023. And unfortunately, that was a day that my mother passed away. So October 25th is the anniversary of her passing. And so I was not quite ready for that date, obviously. And I learned that even though, if I'm being honest, my days are pretty much the same, waking up, going to work, coming home, creating content, etc. Wash, repeat, or rinse, repeat. That's what I do. And it feels like even when I'm mentally not thinking about that important, I don't want to say important, but that anniversary that comes up, it's like even if I'm not mentally there, my body knows. I get tired, sluggish. My emotions are just kind of out of whack a little bit. It's kind of crazy how all of that works, honestly. And so my plan on that day was to just, the whole weekend, honestly, was just to bask in my sadness and just kind of sit there and marinate in that and just cry and drink and whatever, And what actually ended up happening was my friend Nikki, I used to work with her at this restaurant called Charlie's back in the day. And she hit me up on Facebook, direct message, and asked if, I wanted to go to her Halloween party. And I said, yeah, that'd be cool to kind of catch up, see everybody's doing and all that good stuff. And when I accepted to go, I had not realized at the time that the party was on the 25th. It didn't hit me until the week before, right? And so I almost did not go, honestly, but I ended up just packing up my costume, putting that bad boy on, and headed to the party. I forced myself to go. I have kind of been lonely for quite some time, and it all started back when I was in Los Angeles. I know exactly when it started. I've pinpointed when I began to change, and I was out there by myself chasing the dream, yes, but my social circle was here. My support system was here. Like the people that really knew me was all here in Georgia. And so I just wasn't myself. And it just became the unhappiness and the loneliness and all those things became to feel normal because I felt it for so long. And I forgot what it was like to be me again, extroverted, out there and goofy and all that. And then that's around the time I found, content creation, and I was able to get those things out, but I still wasn't really living in the world. I was just kind of existing, and I'm trying to get better. And so I decided to go to this party, and thank God that I did. I ended up going as Dick in a Box. That was my costume. If you remember that SNL skit back in the day with the Lonely Islands, yeah, it's my Dick in a Box. Yeah, that was me. Had a box and everything. It was great. And inside my box, I had Mexican candy. And it was a good time. Everybody had amazing costumes, and the party itself was very well decorated. The downstairs area was sick. I mean, there was a bar down there. She had a bartender hired to do some stuff. I mean, the party was so awesome. I forgot that I was at somebody's house. It was one of those kind of parties. I ain't gonna hold you. Actually, if you want to check it out for yourself, check out my YouTube channel, the Professionally Silly YouTube channel. And if you're watching this video right now on YouTube, you're already there. So go ahead and check out that video. It was a lot of fun. I think the video was called "I Really Needed This Party." I believe that was the title of the video. So go ahead and check that out. So we are also into week 1 of training for my new job at the radio station. I'm a board operator for a radio station here in Atlanta, and it's a lot of work. All the music and the things that in the commercials and all the things that you're hearing, that's pretty much my job, is to make sure that is done correctly. I'm learning how to do some editing on some of the software and all that stuff, so that when people call in to win their prizes, I'm the one who's supposed to edit that and put it in. So there's a lot of things that I am working on. I'm working with software that I've never worked with before. So I'm very nervous, but I remember also being very nervous the first time I was handed a new opportunity at the station, dealing as a board operator, and I conquered that, the easy parts of it. Now this is the next step, and I'm kind of like, oh God, I don't want to mess up, so I hope that I do well because I would like to keep my job. All right, so I want to go ahead and give a shout out to a past episode that I did back in the day. We're talking about December 20th, 2019, the scary sleep paralysis stories. So if you have not heard that, go ahead and check it out. Might do a little scrolling, what have you, but it's worth it. It's a very interesting episode. We discuss a little bit of the science of sleep paralysis, and then we go into sleep paralysis experience that others and I have experienced. So check that out. Once again, scary sleep paralysis stories back in December 20th of 2019. Your girl has had a podcast since 2018, so make sure you are binging me. Subscribe, rate, and review if you want to show support for this podcast. That, my friends, is the best way to do so. If you're listening on Spotify, do me a favor and leave some comments down there. I will be sure to engage with them. I really do enjoy it when you guys leave comments. It means you're listening, and I love that. That's my favorite part, honestly. So before we get into the silly of this episode, I really would like to just say that my heart goes out to everyone that is in or maybe even connected to Jamaica, Haiti, Cuba, and many of the other Caribbean areas because of Hurricane Melissa has unfortunately just created such devastation in these areas. And if you're unaware of this currently, Hurricane Melissa is actually labeled at one point a Category 5 hurricane, which is actually one of the strongest on the Richter scale there, and has caused severe damage when it made landfall in Jamaica, literally October 28th, just a couple of days ago, 2025, before continuing its path towards Cuba and the Bahamas. This was actually one of the strongest Atlantic hurricanes ever recorded, and it caused catastrophic damage and flooding across the Caribbean, winds of 185 miles an hour. Jamaica, the island, was actually declared a disaster zone, and the storm caused widespread destruction. We're talking ripping off roofs, downing power lines, and causing extensive flooding. Haiti suffered heavy rainfall from Hurricane Melissa, and it caused the river to burst its banks, leading to at least 25 deaths as of recording this episode. Cuba also is experiencing some horrible times as well. They had a coastal flooding and damaging winds that impacted the country, with officials evacuating hundreds of thousands of residences. These areas are experiencing massive power outages, and we're talking about hundreds of thousands of people in Jamaica and Cuba without electricity. If you want to help, there are plenty of organizations that you can reach out to, including American Red Cross, Direct Relief, Global Giving, Project Hope, and many others. But I do say that you should be very careful and do your research of the charity before donating. Make sure that you are searching and double checking the charity's name. Read the reviews. Are you seeing words like complaint or scam? Are you seeing things like that? You can also go ahead and go to websites like Charity Navigator and BBB, Wise Giving Alliance. These are sites that can actually help verify a charity's legitimacy. I know we all want to help, and unfortunately, there are a lot of people who are going to take advantage of that. And be very careful with where and who you're giving your money to. Prayers up to our brothers and sisters across the Caribbean and beyond. It's the Professionally Silly Podcast. Have you heard about? So I was on the interweb once again, and I was on Instagram. That's one of my favorite places to find content for the podcast. And I followed the page at secret_Atlanta, and there are a lot of interesting posts there about the city of Atlanta. And so this was posted about 6 days ago, and it says here the tagline, "This wind phone in the heart of Atlanta lets grieving Atlantans speak with lost loved ones." And here is a photo of a phone, a rotary phone even, and looks like it's attached to a piece of wood that reads Atlanta wind phone. I love what it is. You know what I mean? So I decided to kind of look further into that, and I went to the secretatlanta.co website to see what was, to read more about it, and I wanted to share it with you. It says here, the tagline: "This phone in the heart of downtown Atlanta lets you speak with lost loved ones. The beautiful significance of Atlanta's Wind Phone." This art exhibit, originally from Japan, is a wonderful way to connect with lost loved ones and express one's grief. Handling grief can be an incredibly difficult and lonely process, and everyone has their own way of dealing with it. Sometimes all we need to do is reach out and speak to lost loved ones again. That's where wind phones come in to provide some comfort. And now Atlanta has our very own wind phone in the heart of downtown. Wind phones are art installations that allow passers-by to grieve, experience their emotions, and connect with lost loved ones. So the wind phones were first created in 2010 by Itaru Sasaki in Japan as he was grieving the death of his cousin. The concept has grown and spread in the last 15 years, and you can find wind phones around the world. That's dope. I had no idea this even existed, let alone it's all over the world. Wind phones are an interactive invitation to reflect and say the things we want to say to those we have lost. It is a reminder that we don't need a response to speak to our lost loved ones. Just speaking our grief out loud with intention is potent medicine in and of itself. I gotta say, this is very interesting. So if you are in the Atlanta area and you want to check out the wind phone, it is located in Woodruff Park, just behind the ATL sign. It's that wooden ATL sign with the slanted L. And the Woodruff Park is located at 91 Peachtree Street, Northwest Atlanta, Georgia. So go ahead and check out that wind phone. I have to say, I talk to my mom all the time. Recently, I just had a dream about her. I think it was that Sunday after the Halloween party, and she gave me the dopest hug in my dream. It felt so real that I actually remembered it, and I rarely remember my dreams, but I talk to my mom when I'm in my car. I talk to her while I'm walking in the hallway, I talk to her all the time, and I would like to think that she can hear me, but I ain't gonna hold you. It would be wonderful to hear a response. I would love that. Have you heard about pubic hair panties? Yeah, you heard right. I know that sounds crazy, but that's exactly what I said. Pubic hair panties. Have you heard of that? It is a thing. Let me explain to you what. I don't know if I can explain why, but I can explain what. I will say this. It has to do with someone that we all know. Someone's name that has been in our mouths at some point. Kim Kardashian. So in October 2025, Skims, Kim Kardashian's underwear brand, created a viral sensation by launching a collection of thongs with faux pubic hair attached. Not sure why. If you don't know what faux pubic hair is, it's fake pubic hair. That's what faux is. It ain't real. I just grow it out. What? Well, I guess if you laser it off, it doesn't grow anymore, but I don't understand this. So I've gone to a few websites here, including parade.com, people.com, and enews.com, and I've come across all this information here. It says here the controversial product dubbed the okay, it is dubbed full bush underwear. Full bush underwear. And it was available with different hair textures and shades, and it sold out almost instantly. Now listen, I'm gonna tell you something right now. I'm not paying for faux bush, okay? I got a real bush right down here. If I grow it out, boom, I can keep it. It's fine. Ladies, use your natural bush. A sentence I never thought I'd say. So apparently they thought it was a funny and silly idea. In an interview with E! News, Kim Kardashian explained that the idea came from a past photo shoot where someone wanted faux hair for a thong. I don't understand who wanted faux hair for a thong or why that was. You know what this thong needs? Pubes. I don't. What? It says here it took social media by storm, and the new product divided the internet with the brand's social media post sparking extensive conversation. One post featured the caption, "Who said the carpet has to match the drapes?" I feel like somebody on Kim's team posted that. So, despite the backlash, Kardashian told Variety that she was surprised by all the attention and how quickly the underwear sold out. Bitch, you weren't surprised. And there is one thing that she has mastered is marketing. Her and the Paul brothers, they're like marketing like kings and queens. It's insane. The Skims founder hinted that the company will continue to push boundaries and potentially release more unconventional products in the future. I don't doubt it. Oh my God, the faux pubes? Has it come to this, really? Okay. The government shut down. We can buy pubic hair panties now. 2025 is just doing a lot right now. It really is. What is the backstory behind Men in Black? Are they real? Well, let's go ahead and dig into that next, right here on the Professionally Silly podcast. All right. If my Buc-ee's hat did not grab your attention, then pay attention to what I'm about to tell you now. I'm here to tell you about Helping Mamas organizing an amazing event here in Atlanta called Pints and Purpose. So let me tell you a little bit about that. Pints and Purpose is more than a fundraiser. It's a hands-on volunteer experience that brings families, friends, and co-workers together to serve Georgia families in need. Pints and Purpose is an event where craft beer meets community impact. This event will be held this Sunday, November 2nd at Monday Night Brewing. So go ahead and grab a brew and help us build hygiene kits for Georgia families in need. These hygiene kits are filled with every essential that families need to promote health, dignity, and confidence. These kits are given to families that are facing financial hardships, and they have urgent needs that are often overlooked. So Helping Mamas is doing everything they can to help them. So join them November 2nd at Monday Night Brewing at 933 Lee Street, Southwest, Atlanta, Georgia. I'll put the link down below in the show notes and description box for more information for you. Visit helpingmamas.org. When anyone mentions the words Men in Black, many people can't help but picture the movie starring Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones. A fucking classic, if you ask me, one of my favorite films. But here's the thing. Apparently, Men in Black, the movie, is actually inspired by an actual Men in Black. Apparently, they could exist. So I thought to myself, let's go ahead and dig into that. Now, I went ahead over to the interweb. I went to allthat'sinteresting.com. I went to howstuffworks.com, history.com, YouTube, Wikipedia, and TikTok. When I tell you I did my research, I did my research. So let me go ahead and share some of the information that I found out about the Men in Black. Okay, so it says here the history of the Men in Black, the MIB, I don't know why I did that, originates from the 1950s UFO folklore and conspiracy theories. Now, this was portraying them as mysterious agents who intimidated witnesses into silence. Anytime someone said, hey, yo, I think I saw some aliens, they come up, no, you didn't. Because if you did, I'm going to have to do something to you. You may not be seen again. Are you sure you saw some aliens? On second thought, I think I didn't see anything, sir. That's most likely how things most likely went, or they just took you. It was a thing. They loved intimidation. So the actual dark mythology behind the real Men in Black is very different from the hilarious action thriller film we all love today, Men in Black. Let's dig a little bit into the paranormal folklore of it. So the Men in Black are actually described as shadowy figures in dark suits who harass, threaten, or silence witnesses to UFO sightings or other paranormal events. Once again, if you see something, maybe don't say something, okay? Well, if it comes like paranormal stuff. Otherwise, the Men in Black are coming for you. It is to be said that their appearances and their demeanor is a bit unsettling. They tend to kind of resemble humans, but the way they move and look, you look a little close to them, something doesn't seem right. It's distinctively unnatural, if that makes any sense. They have features like really pale skin. Their faces don't really make expressions, just kind of like monotone face. That's a thing. And they also have like strange accents, and their speaking patterns are a little off. It just seems off. They've got like a retro attire with black suits, the hat, the dark glasses, and they often do have like these vintage black cars. And when you think about it, every time someone says that they've experienced them or there's been a sighting of them, they really do resemble like fellas from like the 1950s type style. And around that time, that was the origin time of the Men in Black. So I don't know. Is Men in Black coming over here with a Gucci suit now? Probably not. Now, a lot of people say that when they see them, they have these glowing eyes, and they don't walk. They float. That's kind of creepy, like a well-dressed 1950s man that can levitate forward. A little strange, you ask me. So I came across a couple of cases that are kind of like the cases that I guess you would say shaped the myth of the Men in Black, and I want to share those with you. And the first one here is the Maury Island incident, and that was in 1947. So this case is considered to be one of the earliest accounts of a man in black. So what happened was there was a Marine patrolman named Harold Dahl claimed to have seen 6 donut-shaped UFOs near Maury Island and Washington's Puget Sound. He did report that one of the craft dropped metallic debris which injured his son and killed his dog. The next day, Harold was allegedly visited by a man in a black suit. Okay. That's a little strange. The moment he started talking about UFOs, all of a sudden, a man in a black suit pop up. Coincidence? According to Leroy Jethro Gibbs, there is no such thing as coincidence. I don't remember the rule number, but if you are an NCIS fan, you know what I'm talking about. What's up? The man in the black suit recounted the event in minute detail, and he also warned Harold not to tell anyone about what he saw. Okay. That sounds like some mob shit, you ask me. How do we know that the Men in Black just aren't like alien mafia? We'll make you an offer you can refuse, okay? You tell anybody you saw us here, all right? Make you swim with the fishes. I don't know. That was a horrible... that did not sound good. So Harold and his supervisor, I believe his name is Fred Kreisman, they later confessed that the whole story was a hoax. So clearly, the Man in Black scared them enough to recant their entire story. I don't know. But here's the thing. Whether it happened or not, this moment right here was cemented in history of the Men in Black lore. So let's go ahead and discuss the other story. This one, I think, is kind of more popular to the Men in Black legend, if you will. It's the Albert Bender case, and this was in 1953. So this incident helped popularize the concept of the MIB within the UFO community. Albert K. Bender actually ran the International Flying Saucer Bureau, the IFSB, and he claimed that he was visited by 3 men in black suits who ordered him to stop his research. The IFSB soon shut down after that. Coincidence? What'd I tell you about Leroy Jethro Gibbs? What'd I tell you? All right. So there was actually a book written about this experience, and it was chronicled in Gray Baker's 1956 book, They Knew Too Much About Flying Saucers, which introduced the MIB concept to a wider audience of enthusiasts of this entire thing. So now people are writing books about it. And this is a time where, books were very popular, and that was a really good way to get a story out there. So Albert Bender actually ended up writing his own book in 1962 called Flying Saucers and the Three Men. And he alleged that the men in black were otherworldly. He also said they were demonic creatures rather than government agents. See, now we're getting into the creepier parts of the Men in Black, because before, when we were dealing with the Maury Island incident, it just sounded like a dude in the black suit had a problem with him talking about aliens. Now they're saying the men in the black suit might be demonic creatures. Things are starting to heat up around here, for sure. So this particular image of the Men in Black was kind of like reimagined, and that is the Men in Black that we've kind of gotten to know when it comes to the folklore legend of them being scary, demonic-like creatures. I don't know why I'm using my hands so much. I feel weird. I don't know. So the comic books in the 1990s, that kind of helped really make things fly. We're talking about amazing artwork to kind of put that thing that we've been hearing about into a visual form with lots of bright colors. It says here, the Men in Black were turned into a comic book series by writer Lowell Cunningham and artist Sandy Carruthers. This version followed a secret agency that monitored paranormal black, I was going to say black activity because that's my YouTube channel, paranormal activity. And then later on, in the later 90s, we have the films. Director Barry Sonnenfeld adapted the comic into Blockbuster's hit film Men in Black with, of course, Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones. That particular film portrayed the Men in Black as a secret government agency that was like policing the aliens that are here on Earth, right? Which kind of an amazing storyline when you think about it. So this movie itself kind of recasted our idea of the creepy version of the Men in Black into witty, underpaid government agents who were just helping us, you know what I'm saying, helping protect the secret of all these paranormal and type UFO situations and things that are happening. It says here that the Men in Black also influenced other fictional works, video games like Half-Life, all the way to episodes of The X-Files, which you will remember that. I believe that was the late 90s as well. Was there somebody named Sully in there? I've actually never seen The X-Files. To answer the question, does the Men in Black actually exist? Are they real? I hate to say this, ladies and gentlemen, there is no definitive evidence or proof that the Men in Black exist, but there are a lot of mysterious explanations for their existence. The most common theory is that the Men in Black are government agents. Maybe they're from the CIA, or maybe they're from the Air Force Office of Special Investigation, AFOSI. Yeah, a lot of letters there. Maybe they're sent to suppress information of the things that everyday citizens are witnessing. And the rise of these type stories, these are the kind of things that started kind of getting real large during the Cold War, and it was kind of mirroring the public's anxieties about government conspiracies, so which we still have. They're probably a lot larger now than they've ever been. Then you have people who thought maybe it's a paranormal type thing. Some researchers, including John Keel of the Mothman Prophecies fame. Now, he thought they were like demonic supernaturals or ultra-terrestrials from another dimension is what he thought, right? I think that maybe people who were like experiencing or seeing the Men in Black, I'm not really sure. Maybe they're just having like these mundane encounters after something weird happens and a man in a black suit happens to be there and they're like, oh crap, they're after me. I don't know. If you're super into the folklore and the urban legends of things, if you're a really diehard, I believe this, there's no other way that it's not real, I know this is real, then if you see a man in a dark suit, maybe because you already have that pre-existing conspiracy theory locked in your head, then maybe you've got tunnel vision and you're just thinking, oh, this is what I know this is what it is. Kind of like a cop with tunnel vision when they're investigating a case. They kind of make their evidence fit what they already believe. And all of a sudden they think they've solved this case. It happens all the time. Now, I am also open to the idea that the Men in Black could be real. I believe in ghosts. I believe in aliens as of late. Why not men in well-dressed suits like they're dressed in the 1950s running around, threatening people, trying to keep them quiet about aliens. Now, my question I do have is, are they even necessary since the government has already admitted that aliens are a thing? I got a lot of questions. It sounds like after the government shut down, the men in black are probably out of a job too. It is time for our POC Excellence segment, where I like to go ahead and give my flowers to people of color who are doing amazing and inspiring things. And as I've said before, and I will say it again, I do believe that the mainstream media does not always share those wonderful moments with us. So I go digging for it and I find it and I share with you here on the Professionally Silly podcast. And this week, we are going to be giving our flowers to Kiara Keating, I believe is how you say her name. Kiara Keating is England's first female black goalkeeper. Now, if you don't know what a goalkeeper is, think of the word goal. You hear that whenever a goal is made in the beautiful sport of soccer, aka football. She was born in Manchester in 2004, and that makes me feel very old because I graduated high school that year. Anyways, she started as a striker, but decided, nah, I'm tired of scoring. I'm just going to stop y'all from scoring. How about that? So, so she is repping up Manchester City and the England women's team like it ain't shit. She's also making history as one of the few black female goalkeepers to hit the England spotlight, proving representation can still flex a mean save. Her mom even started her first team. How dope is that? Now that is called dedication from the family right there. That's support right there. She went from one of the dopest strikers out there to every striker's worst nightmare. And here are your flowers, Kiara Keating. Now, guys, I played soccer when I was in high school and I loved it. I only played for a year. I played it like in the streets with my friends and stuff. I did some intramural stuff when I was in college, but when I was in high school, I was on the actual team, and I would never want to be striker. I'm not going to be doing offense, running up and down that field over and over again nonstop. No, thank you. Defense, baby. And also as a fullback. And but my main thing, I was also a goalie. I did goalie more than I did any other position, but goalie was my shit. My team was horrible, so I had to defend the goal a lot. And I can only do so much if I have no defense. So there were a lot of goals made off the side of my face. It is what it is. So I got to say, shout out to Kiara Keating, England's first female black goalkeeper. Go ahead and do it, girl. Listen, if there's anything that you can take from this podcast episode, it's you can trust black men. You can. Just maybe keep your distance from the men in black. Maybe. They sound quite dangerous. Professionally silly life rules. I literally wrote that. I thought when I wrote that was funny. As I recorded it, I don't know. Let me know down below. Shout out to the listeners because you guys are fucking titties. I love your faces, but most of all, the ears that are attached to them. I appreciate you guys joining me every week right here on the Professionally Silly podcast. And if this is your first time joining, I hope that you do decide to pop back in, man. And join in on all the silly, and not just the silly that I'm putting out currently, but my past silly. I've had this podcast since 2018. I've been making content since 2014. Your girl has been out here chasing the content creating dream for quite some time. And now Pioneer has said, ooh, I like her. She talented. You know what? Let's go ahead and add her to this network right quick. So my dreams are they I can actually, like, I feel like I can grab them. I'm getting so close to what I'm looking for. And again, I keep saying my idea of success, my dream of success is being able to do what I love and only what I love and paying my bills. That is it. Make sure you guys subscribe to this podcast on whatever platform that this podcast is on. It should be on Amazon Music. I believe that it is. Apple Podcasts, Spotify. It's on YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube right now, hey. And go ahead and click that thumbs up button while you're there, okay? Comment down below. Engage. That is super important. Okay. And as a black female lesbian, I am 3 things that a lot of people hate. So help me rise, baby. Help me rise. This is your first time listening. I certainly hope that I did not scare you away. Make sure you check out down below in the description box or the show notes. My link tree is there. And inside there is all of my most used social medias, my TikTok, my YouTube channels, plural, my Instagram, all that can be found there. Follow me. Oh, and the podcast Instagram at It's Pro Silly. Check us out there, as well as the Professionally Silly podcast group on Facebook. If you want to hit me up, you can always email me. It's professionallysilly@gmail.com, or you can leave me a voicemail or text my Google Voice number, 805-664-1828, which, by the way, I do believe that we have a voicemail. Hold on a moment. Let me see here. Yes, we do. Somebody heard my outro and was like, you know what? She works really hard on repeating herself every fucking week. I'm going to leave her a voicemail. Thank you, person, whoever you are. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
Hey, Amber. Just listened to one of the first episodes of Professionally Smiles, longtime Burt Show listener, and wanted to support all you guys. And I just listened to the first episode about hidden cameras, and you said to call in with some corny jokes. So I got one for you. So a nun is taking a bath when she hears a knock at the door. So she gets a little frightened, and she goes, oh, who's there? And the guy says, it's the blind man. And she goes, oh, okay, and says, well, then come on in. So the guy walks in the door and says, nice tits. Now, where do you want the blind tongue? Anyway, I thought it was funny. Enjoyed listening to the first episode that I listened to, and I followed and subscribed, and look forward to many more. Best of luck to you. Bye.
Yo, that's hilarious. Nice tits. Where do you want these blinds? Actually, yes. Thank you so much. That meant a lot. I love a good corny joke. If anybody else has a good joke like that, call on in 805-664-1828, or you can also use that same number to vent and get it off your chest. The holidays are coming. The government has shut down. Everything is expensive as shit. People's spouses are cheating on them. So let's talk about it. I can use the content. Thank you so much for calling, and thank you so much for supporting the Burt Show for all the time that you did. And I'm very, very appreciative that you are here right now joining me, on the Professionally Silly podcast. It means the world to me for your support. So thank you. I hope I don't scare you off anytime soon. Oh my God. Also down below in the show notes, you can find my P.O. Box, Amber Smiles Jones, P.O. Box 533, Lovejoy, Georgia, 30250. Once again, I'm your audible boo thing, Amber Smiles Jones. And thank you so much for listening to the Professionally Silly station, where I take my silliness seriously. And I'll leave you with this. If aliens come to Earth, we probably have to explain why we have made dozens of movies and TV shows in which we fight and kill them. How are we going to explain that? Anyways, enjoy that. Until next time, peace, silly listeners, until you decide to tune in again, watch where you step, because there are pieces of shit everywhere, and they love to spread their ignorance. Okay, bye. It's an aggressive wave, but I'm gonna stick to it. So this is actually one of the strongest Atlantic. Make sure you guys subscribe. Oops, damn it! I keep hitting this. Handling grief can be incredibly difficult and lonely. Handling grief can be an incredibly damn it. With intention is potent medicine in itself. Wait, fun of a bitch. It's going straight to. Oh, that's a different movie. Over here singing the Wild Wild West. And the rise of these type. Oops. A Marine trollman named Harold Dahl claimed that a Marine troll... Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ran, bitch. Ba-ba-ba-ran, bitch.